Hey y'all, my name's Mare. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about my NetGalley TBR. So these are going to be, I believe it's about 15 books or so that I have on NetGalley, which is a website that reviewers can use to request books that are publishing later on. So these are all titles that are going to be coming later in 2024 that I have early access to read. If you don't have a NetGalley account, I will leave a link to the website down below if you're interested in creating one. I love my NetGalley account because it gives me so many great opportunities to read titles early as well as titles that I haven't previously heard about. The first, I believe 8 books that I have to talk to you about are books that have not come out yet. So these are some of my most anticipated reads for 2024. And then after I talk about those, I do have a little bit of a backlist. So these are books that came out before now, basically books that have been on my NetGalley for a year or 2 or 3 that I just have not read yet, unfortunately, but I did download before they were archived. So I still have the opportunity to read and review them. If I mention any books that you're really excited about, or you have any books that you're excited about on your NetGalley, please comment them down below. I would love to hear all about them. But if there's any specific titles that you want me to vlog or review here on my channel, leave a comment down below because I'll be sure to include them in some of my next few videos. I do currently have one video planned for 3 different romances coming out in May that I got off my NetGalley, and those are going to be You Should Be So Lucky by Sebastian, The Paradise Problem by Christina, as well as the very first book that we're going to be talking about today, which is Better Left Unsent by Leah Lewis. So Better Left Unsent comes out on May 21st this year, and this one follows 30-year-old receptionist Millie, who always writes out her feelings through a good email, and they stay in her drafts, but unfortunately there is a outage one day that makes all of her emails get sent to whoever she wrote them to. So this one sounds very much like the adult version of To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. So it sounds super fun, and I'm excited to see what happens to Millie in this story. I did read another book by Leah Lewis called 8 Perfect Hours, and I really enjoyed that one. I think I gave it 5 stars. I just had a fun time reading it, and so I'm definitely excited to read more by her in the future, starting with Better Left Unsent. The next book that I have to talk about also comes out on May 21st, and that is going to be How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. So this one got me hooked based off the title alone. I had never heard of this book before, but the synopsis and the title just sounded so intriguing. I typically don't request books off of NetGalley that I haven't previously heard about or that I had the intention to read before they went on NetGalley, but this one just took me by surprise, and I knew that I had to get my hands on it. So this one is pitched as Groundhog's Day meets Guardians of the Galaxy, which, hello, that's my favorite Marvel movie of all time. I love the Guardians, so I'm excited to see the inspiration in this book. But it's about a woman who is tired of seeing the Dark Lord prevail, so she decides to try and become the Dark Lord herself. So these 2 releases sound super fun. I'm excited for them. They're very different from each other, but those are going to be the books that I have on my TBR that are coming out in May. And now let's talk about June, which I only have one title for, but it's one that I'm very excited about, and that is the Rom-Commers by Katherine. The Rom-Commers is about 2 screenwriters who have to work together on a project. The female screenwriter is named Emma, and she is up and coming. She has basically been working really hard her whole life to get noticed, and she finally has a great opportunity to work with one of her idols, which is Charlie Yates. And when she meets him, she wants to write a rom-com together, but he just doesn't understand the importance of it and thinks it's a silly idea. So she tries to convince Charlie that it's a good idea by having a little kiss, and it turns into something more. The synopsis of this one, it just sounds super fun. I love the idea of 2 screenwriters falling in love. I think this sounds very reminiscent of Beach Read by Emily Henry, where we had 2 novelists falling in love. I previously read The Bodyguard as well as Hello Stranger by Katherine, and I really enjoyed both of those books. Neither of them were like 4 or 5 star reads. reads, but honestly, I just breezed through them. I had a good time with them, and they were exactly what I needed in the moment. So I'm hoping that I'll like the Rom-Commers even more. There is a feature on NetGalley called Read Now, which is when a title becomes available to anyone to read. You don't have to request it. You can just read now and download it. And so that is how I did attain this one. I didn't have to specifically request it through the publisher. However, I don't know if it is still on NetGalley as Read Now, so it's worth checking, but if it's not, I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know that it was at some point, so hopefully it will be again, or still. And the Rom-Commers comes out on June 11th of this year. Now moving on to July titles. The next book that I want to talk about is The Next Best Fling, and this one comes out July 9th. And like I was talking about with the Rom-Commers, that one was a Read Now copy, and The Next Best Fling was as well for me, so definitely check it out. If it's still Read Now on NetGalley, you might be able to snag this one as well. This one sounded super fun because it is about a librarian and an ex-NFL player who go to the same wedding. So the ex-NFL player's name is Theo and the librarian is Marcella, and they go to the wedding of Theo's brother and Marcella's ex. So Theo's brother is Marcella's ex, if you're following that. And Marcella is still in love with Theo's brother, and Theo is in love with her ex's fiance. So it's a little bit messy, but the two of them end up connecting because of this situation, and at the wedding they're seen leaving together. So there's some speculation that the two of them got together, and to kind of get everyone off of their backs, they decide to just go with it and fake date, and it leads to some real emotions, of course. The next title that I have coming out in July is The Au Pair Affair. This one comes out on July 16th, and we know that of all the books on this list, this is the one that I'm most excited about. I am truly just so excited and ecstatic that I was approved to read this early, and that is because Tessa Bailey is one of my favorite authors of all time. Does she write the same thing in a different font most of the time? Yes. Does it work every single time? Mostly. Do I eat it up? Yes. I'm really excited to read this one because this is the second book in a new sports romance duology by her, the first of which is Fangirl Down, which recently came out, and spoiler alert, it is one of my favorite books of all time now. It is definitely my favorite Tessa Bailey book, so I'm excited to see how it could possibly get even better with the second book in the series, The Au Pair Affair. So this one, we're following Tallulah, who is a live-in nanny, and she gets an opportunity to nanny for Burgess's daughter, and so she moves in with him, and there are some boundaries that are crossed because Burgess wants to obviously focus on his daughter and not on his relationship with Tallulah, but feelings develop, of course, and so they have to navigate how to have the best of both worlds. My last title on my TBR that comes out in July also comes out on July 16th, and this is The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer, and I cannot believe I got approved for this one either. Honestly, this is probably my second most anticipated book from this entire list. I'm just so happy and grateful that I'm able to read this early because I loved Meg Schaefer's previous book, which was The Wishing Game. It was one of my top reads of 2023 and is definitely one of my favorite books of all time now. So I'm so excited that I get to read The Lost Story early, and I ironically did not know that she was coming out with another book until I saw this one was available on NetGalley. So thank you to the publisher for approving me. I don't know how you did that or why you did that, but truly I am grateful. The Lost Story is going to be inspired by C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia series. This one follows childhood best friends Jeremy and Rafe, who went missing for 6 months when they were kids and told stories about how they were in this lost world, kind of like Narnia. And Jeremy has become a famous missing persons investigator 15 years into the future, and now there is a story that has come out about children who have gone missing in the same forest that Jeremy and Raph got lost in as kids. So they know where they went into this magical world of Narnia, or inspired by Narnia, and so it's up to Jeremy and Raph to bring them home. Again, so excited for this. It sounds very magical and whimsical, and I feel like that is something that Meg Schaefer really shines in, so I'm excited to see how it works out in The Lost Story. So the last book on my NetGalley TBR that is not a backlist title, so this is my last book that I currently have that is coming out later this year, and that is The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord. And this is Miss Emma's last chance for me. I hate saying that because I did request this book, and like I want to read this because I did love Emma Lord's first book that I read by her. I don't know if it was her debut, but it was first encounter that I had with her, and that was Tweet Cute. I loved that book. It was a YA contemporary, and it just gave me all the feelings, and I am still searching for her to make me feel all the feelings again. So this is again an adult romance, and this one comes out on August 13th, and this one follows two ex-childhood friends. So they were best friends growing up, and they no longer speak to each other, and now they are having to fake date because they both went viral for getting dumped. So now we're gonna get into the backlist titles on my NetGalley. So these have all already come out by the time you're watching this video. Some of them have been out for a very long time that I just never got to the first time around. And in my defense, the first book that I'm gonna talk about from my backlist, I literally got approved for like 3 days ago. That is Lore of the Wilds. So this one just came out this year on February 27th. Lore of the Wilds is a romantasy debut, and it follows Fae as well as an enchanted library, unlikely heroes, there's romance. I'm excited about this one. I love a good enchanted library trope, which is what we have here. The next book on this list is The Bone Spindle. Again, this book is already out as well as the rest of the books in this list, so I'm not going to give you the date for them. They're out. You can go read them. The Bone Spindle is pitched as Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones, which sounds like a good time. I can't lie. So in this one we have 3 main characters. We have Fi, who is a treasure hunter. We've got Shane, who is a warrior. And we've got Briar Rose, who is a prince under a sleeping curse. And Shane and Fi must work together in order to break Briar Rose's curse on him and his kingdom. So this one, again, just sounds super fun. I love a good fairy tale retelling. So I am excited to read this one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. The next book on my backlist is You've Reached Sam, and this is a YA contemporary, so it makes sense that I haven't really reached for this one. It does sound heartbreaking, and it does sound like a book that I could potentially really love because of how heartbreaking it is, but I am not ready for said heartbreak. You've Reached Sam follows 17-year-old Julie, whose boyfriend Sam recently died. And Julie really misses Sam, so she decides to call him one day, and she's given the opportunity to actually speak to him. It gives her the opportunity to deal with her grief and give her that closure that she needs. So this one just sounds super sad and heartbreaking, but also really, really good. So the next book on this list is Edgewood, and I am excited to read this one actually because a book also recently came out by this author called Heartless Hunter that's just been really intriguing me. This one follows our main character Emmeline, and she must enter a mysterious forest that she's always avoided in order to help find her missing grandfather. She's drawn into the court of the fabled Wood King, and she makes a deal with him in order to help find her grandfather, and she definitely gets more than she bargained for as she's thrown into the world where there is more to meet the eye. Next on this list, we have The Other Merlin, and you guys know how I feel about a good little Camelot retelling. I love King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and I will read any book about it, especially in the YA fantasy sphere, so I am definitely interested in this one. And we're following a atypical Camelot story. King Arthur is more interested in the library than being a knight. Lancelot is demoted to a castle guard, and basically nothing is going according to plan. There's a messenger that goes out to get Emmett Merlin, who is supposed to go to the kingdom and help King Arthur. However, his sister Emery decides to disguise herself as him so that she can go go to the castle and study there. Emery finds herself in Camelot, falling for the prince, and definitely altering the course of the future and her role in it at the kingdom. So this one sounds fun. It sounds different. I love taking a good original story and twisting it on its head to get possibly a different outcome. So excited about this one. Hopefully we'll get to it at some point this year. And the last book on this list is The Corpse Queen, and this one is a historical young adult mystery, thriller, horror kind of realm. This one follows a teenage girl named Molly who is taken into her aunt's home, who she's never previously met. However, when she goes to find her aunt, she discovers she's very much real and is roped into her business, which is robbing graves. In addition to this, there's a murder loose in the city, so there's this murder mystery plot that's going on as well that Molly finds herself at the heart of. That is my entire list of all the books that I have on NetGalley. Obviously, it is my goal to read every single book on my NetGalley at some point this year. Fingers crossed for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what books you want me to, again, vlog or review on my channel for you guys. There's definitely videos coming featuring a lot of these books. Let me know what titles you have on NetGalley that you're excited to read. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, as well as subscribe down below to my channel. I post tons of book-related content every single month here on YouTube. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all!